Most people don't realize is they hear me play and they think I'm always down tuned, but I'm not. I'm just in standard tuning. These nuances that I was talking about, I think that's like a huge part. Yes, like slap delay and like big fuzz sounds and low. Yeah, of course, that's a big part of it, but the essence of it are those nuances that I was telling you about.
Today's episode is sponsored by Gator Cases. Guitarists, like any other musician, value the advantages of proper protection for their gear. Guitars, amps, effects, and accessories all need safe transport and storage. Luckily, Gator's got you covered. Is it crazy that, like, when I had Corey Wong on the show, I said, Corey, isn't it crazy that you have your own thing, your own style that you do? And like, there are so many amazing guitar players that are unbelievable, but just don't have their own thing. And I feel like you've kind of tapped into something with the way you're always kind of tuned down. You play with these very thick strings, and it gives this very unique tone. And it's like, isn't that crazy that you stumbled upon that and made that your thing? Because there's like, you could be a great player and not have a thing, but when you hear yourself play, it's so unique and so distinct. Isn't that crazy that you, like, isn't that nuts that you stumbled upon this thing that's a little bit different than what every other guitar player does?
Yes and no. I mean, yes. I mean, it's everyone's goal to have, you're calling it a thing. I would call it like having your own voice. And
Yes.
I think my voice, yeah, I guess I'm known for like doing like some of the baritone range stuff. But in my opinion, and most people don't realize is they hear me play and they think I'm always down tuned, but I'm not. I'm just in standard tuning. I think it's, a part of it is the slide, a part of it is the sense of like harmony choices I go for, and like my rhythmic style. Like, it's more so like my feel and the dynamics and like these nuances that I was talking about. I think that's like a huge part. Yes, like slap delay and like big fuzz sounds and low. Yeah, of course, that's a big part of it. But the essence of it are those nuances that I was telling you about 20 minutes ago that I think identify my sound the most. And I think everyone has it, like a voice. It's just a lot of people don't know how to fully be comfortable with just completely tapping into it, because everyone compares, especially now in this day and age of social media. You look at someone else who does something similar to what you do, and you're like, oh, that sounds better than how I do it. I must be doing it wrong. Okay, well, I'll keep working on sounding better than that person. That's not you trying to sound like you. So like sounding like you is doing the opposite. Like I just don't care anymore. I'm so, it's not that I'm confident. I'm just content with like my abilities, my limitations, and that's what makes me me. If you asked me 10 years ago if I was like nervous that like a hero of mine would come to a gig, I'd be like, fuck yeah. And I'd probably completely change the way I play to cater to what I think they'd want to hear. Like if Stevie Ray Vaughan was going to come to my gig, I would probably start playing all my Stevie isms, because I'd be like, that's how I'd connect to him, right? And it's like, no, that's the opposite of what someone like that would want to hear. They want to hear you. So like we did the Crossroads Festival a year and a bit ago, which was like a crazy honor. Everyone that's there is there because they have a thing. And it's not that I didn't care. I was so grateful to be there and so excited, but I was not nervous at all. I was just like, I'm the only me here. Does that mean is that a good thing or a bad thing? No, it's just the only thing I'm the best at is being myself. And I'm cool with that. And we're here because that's what I do. And who cares? Who cares if everyone's watching? Who cares if no one's watching? This is just what I do. And it brings a lot of peace. It doesn't mean that you have to put less work in, because you should put as much work as you can into developing yourself and keeping everything sharp and keeping your skill just at the highest level you can. But it has nothing to do with what anyone else is doing. It's like, to a degree, living in this peaceful little bubble of like your own sonic endeavors, if you will. And it's great to still take inspiration from what everyone else is doing that you think you connect with, but blocking out the noise. Don't compare to others. Like, the only thing you should compare to is how you played the day before, how you sounded the day before, and how do you really focus in on that? Document yourself. Start listening to what you're doing instead of comparing to Joe Blow on Instagram, who's like playing a million miles a minute, but playing the same style you play, and it's making you feel bad. Just compare to whatever you were doing the day before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I think we should be, just focusing our like and prioritizing our. I don't know if artistry would be the right word, but just we need more voices. We want to hear you. We want to hear what you have to say. We don't need to hear always the same thing that a bunch of other people are already doing it. Like, don't be afraid of your uniqueness. Don't think that like because you're different, you're worse. Because you're different makes you unique, and you should really just tap into that and get to know it and get as comfortable as you can with it, because we all want to hear it, truthfully.
Why don't more guitar heroes sing? Like so many of them are just instrumentalists, and you've
Hmm.
tapped into singing. Like how'd you learn how to sing?
Um, I just started singing, and in fact, I was a late bloomer. I was really kind of shy, so I didn't really start singing like into a microphone until I was like 16 or 17. I've always been a song guy. Like, I was brought up on the Beatles, and I'm a '90s kid, so I like my guitar heroes. Again, like I said, I didn't hear Stevie Ray Vaughan until I was like 17, maybe. I started playing guitar when I was 8, and my parents are musicians. There's always music in the house. So when I was like 8 years old and starting to play guitar, it was like Nirvana, Green Day, Chili Peppers, Rage Against the Machine, Silverchair, Soundgarden, a bunch of bands like that. That's what made me want to play guitar. It was like someone singing, fronting a band, and the guitar was just there to support the song. So I've always just had a connection to that kind of thing. Like, look at someone like a guitar hero to me, like a Jeff Buckley, like such a cool guitar player, so unique, but it's the songs. I could make a list of a million others, but after a while, like, I don't know, everyone has a different preference, but when you really look at it, everyone's amazing. Everyone's so good at their instrument, and
That's not true though. Some people suck. Not everyone's amazing.
but I'm talking about the people who are like
The
you're
people who are
considering the
doing it.
guitar heroes,
Yeah.
Like, they're all great. They're all amazing. Some people are just in it for the playing, and that's what speaks to their soul. And for those people, that's how they express themselves the most. Some people were just brought up differently and brought up in bands, brought up on songs, and can sing or like writing songs. And, the guitar is there to help emphasize the big picture. Like, the guitar, other than singing, is how I express my sound, of course. It's the most useful tool I have in the toolbox, but I just want to make music. I just want to make songs. And personally, I don't want to make like guitar music, not because I think it's lesser than, but it's just not my upbringing of how I ingested music. It goes hand in hand with the song, and it goes hand in hand with singing. And it's not to say like I love improvising. I know a lot of people know me for improvising things and whatnot. That's a huge part of it too. But for me, it's just a balance. I don't want to do too much of only ripping. In fact, I think if I did a whole show of just solo, like just playing guitar, it would get really boring fast. And maybe that's just me being in my own head, but I find playing songs and being a guitar player is a perfect balance of the whole thing. So you're checking all the boxes instead of just one thing.